Hello, welcome friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshekar and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, as all of you are aware, in these episodes we cover emerging companies from emerging sectors, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters and the top managements of these companies so that we can understand, their companies in a much better way. We talk to them about their company's business model, their growth journey, their future business plans, and in this process we get a lot of valuable information from the company's promoters. And today, friends, we've got a very interesting company which is going to hit the capital market very soon. The company's name is Freshara Agro Exports Limited, and which operates in a very niche space. And we have the privilege and pleasure of having the managing director and chairman of the company, Mr. Junaid Ahmed. Junaid ji, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time with us today. सर, मुझे यकीन है कि आज के इस छोटे इंटरव्यू में हमको बहुत सारी अच्छी इन्फॉर्मेशन कंपनी के बारे में आप बता दें.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you. Thank you for introducing me.
Yeah. So, Junaid ji, first question, which is very elementary, which all our viewers would like to know, is that if you could, explain what is the main business model of our company and what is the positioning of our company, because you operate in a very niche space. You have carved out a very good market for your product. So, sir, हमारा एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट में पोजीशनिंग क्या है और एक्चुअली ये बिजनेस जर्नी आपने कैसे शुरू की, वेदर इट इज अ फर्स्ट जनरेशन कंपनी या वेदर आपको पहले जनरेशन से सेकंड जनरेशन ये कंपनी मैनेज करने को मिली, तो इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Yes, sir. Freshara Agro Exports is a first generation company. We started in 2015, wherein we had a parcel of land which was idle. I thought, let me develop the land, for a good purpose. This land is situated right in the center of the heartland of the growing areas, the agriculture areas of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. So where the farmers are very close to the location. So we started the niche product gherkins. Gherkins is a 30-year-old industry in India. It was brought by the Sri Lankans to India, and later on, Indians became a top exporters in the world. So what we do is we are 50% of our efforts go into the agriculture part of it, where we enter into contract farming with the farmers, and we grow the crop. Gherkin is a cucumber. So we grow the crop by being associated with the farmer, right from the status of from the issuing of seeds till the harvest of the crop. As you know, contract farming is a method where the know-hows, the investments, the technology, everything is passed on to the farmer by us, and the agreement is such that we ensure that the quality of the crop is good, and we buy back the crop from the farmers. The advantage for the farmer is that he gets a fixed price. There are no price fluctuation because he already enters into an agreement with us. The prices are fixed for every season. He is so confident that he doesn't have to worry about crops like tomato and onion where there's a price fluctuation. So our crop is a very stable crop from them, and on an average, a farmer makes a decent profit with our crop. The crop is only is a 3-month crop, right from the day of starting of sowing the seeds till the harvest and completion of the crop. So it's a short-term crop and a profitable crop from them. So what we do is after the harvest, we bring the crop to our factory and we process it in our production facility. Processing as such, the crop comes in different sizes. So we have a sorting and a grading machines in the factory where the machines segregate the crops into different sizes based on the country of requirement and the customer. So once the crop is sorted into different sizes, the defects are removed and the crop is washed for to remove the pesticide residues and the wastage and whatever is attached to it. Thereafter, we ensure that the crop is export quality and we preserve it in different preservative medias, that is acetic acid, vinegar, and salt brine. And then we pack it into different packing materials as per requirement of the customer and the country. So this is in short of our production. I mean our crop part and our production part of it.
So understood. I think very nicely articulated by you, Junaid ji. Now, Junaid ji, tell me one thing, that the availability of gherkin, as you told, it's a 3-month short-term crop. So can we assume that this availability of the crop is all throughout the year, or it is a seasonal kind of, you buy in the first half and then process it in the second half? Does it happen like that, or on an ongoing basis, you procure the product from the farmer and then you process it and then you export the product? So does it happen in this manner?
Sir, if you see, we are located in Tamil Nadu. The crop is majorly grown in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra. So every state has a different climatic condition, as you know, and every state has its own season. So, for example, in Tamil Nadu, we have one big season. In Karnataka, there are one or two seasons, and there is an overlapping season in Andhra. And our location of our production plant is such that we can cater to all three different states. So there is, you can say we have at least about 8 to 9 months of raw material arrival to our factory, and
Okay.
we ensure that we always have enough stock so that we carry on the exports throughout the year.
Okay. Understood. Uh, Junaid ji, now tell me one thing in terms of the pricing. You said that you have a contract arrangement with the farmer. So can we assume that this contract for farming arrangement is there for a period of 6 months, 12 months? How long is this agreement done with the farmer so that from your point the raw material price is stability is ensured that you don't have any price volatility for you when you look at the final finished product. So can we assume it's a 6 month contract or a yearly contract with the farmer, or it depends on a case to case basis?
Sir, as I said, there are three different seasons and three different states. So what we do is the contracts are seasonal, and every year there is a small price appreciation which we pass on to the farmer. As the company grows, we also want the farmer to be profitable because he
Okay.
does all the hard work, right? So we pass on the
Yeah.
benefits to them, and the
Okay.
contracts are seasonal because of the change in prices in every season.
Okay. Understood. Okay. Now coming to the overall market opportunity. See, before asking you, who your competitors are, a very simple question is, we've seen exponential growth for the company as a whole. But overall, Junaid ji, if I were to ask you over the next, say, 3 to 5 years, how big is the opportunity in the export market for gherkin exports, which we have been doing in a very, splendid way. New markets have been explored. Our quality has been accepted. So in your assessment, what are the kind of signals you are getting now from customers? Do you think this kind of growth, what we have recorded till now, will this be sustained or it will be much better in the next, say, 3 to 5 years? And if you could just tell us what is the size of the opportunity, market size, कितना बड़ा हो सकता है हमारे लिए?
Sir, year on year, India exports about 2,000 crores worth of gherkins alone. So we are doing close to 200 crores, and we are ranked in the top three of the gherkin exporters from India. So there is a year on year growth for us for about 20 to 30%, and we anticipate this growth to continue. Overall, globally, the consumption of Indian gherkins has increased because the climatic conditions in India are much stable compared to any other country. So if you see, there are many countries where gherkins are grown, but not as effectively, and the quality which we get in India is not available anywhere else. India is
Okay,
actually famous for the premium sized product. So this demand is growing year on year, and the price for it is also growing year on year. So
okay,
going forward, what we expect is about 20 to 30% growth to be sustained for the next years to come. And
okay,
we are also adding different products to our portfolio, which are processed in a similar fashion. For example,
okay,
baby corn, jalapenos, these are all growing products, and we
okay,
incorporated them only about 3 years back in our portfolio, and they are
okay.
slowly catching up with the market share as well.
Okay, understood. Now, I mean, the other question, which is related to this. Now, you said you are adding new products. Sir, within your gherkins product category, do you have a large number of SKUs? Because I was seeing that this is a product which obviously goes to the export market. So, do you have any specifications as far as the SKUs are concerned, or more or less all the products are of similar category? That is question number one. And secondly, sir, we all know the financials of the company. So what makes our company special, and what are the kind of qualitative kind of positives for our company? If you could, tell in your own words, since you have started this company from scratch. Sir, why do customers come to us only? Why do they like our products? Is it because our execution is good, our product, quality is very good? So two, three qualitative points if you can share for our viewers.
See, sir, the gherkins are preserved in a certain manner. So similar lines of products are there. As I told you, jalapenos. Then you have baby corn. Then you have something called mixed vegetables, which involves cauliflower, carrots, and all. When you go to these European countries, unlike India, you have chopped vegetables available off the shelf of the supermarket. So in India, what we do, we get the whole vegetable to our home, and we chop it and make it into small pieces, and there's
Yeah,
a lot of wastage and everything. But when you go to Europe and Americas, most of the vegetables are ready to eat. In that case, what we do is, since we are preserving in healthy preservatives, for example, vinegar, pepper, mustard seeds, onions, all these are used. and we also heat treat our products. Some of our products are heat treated. This gives a shelf life of about 2 years, and they are you can consume them. Refrigerating them, you can consume them year long. So this is the advantage which we provide to the customers abroad. This has not caught up in India yet, but this has been there abroad for the last 20-30 years easily. And this
Right.
has a very good survival capacity because going forward, people want instant food, and ours is instant healthy food. So what we
Okay.
use, we don't use oils which are unhealthy. We use water. We use natural preservatives like vinegar, salt. So these are all healthy preservatives, right? So this is
Okay.
helping us grow in the market as the consumption is also growing.
Okay.
Like why customers prefer us, sir? We Unlike companies who depend only on one crop, we ensure that we depend on all three crops, that is spread across Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra, as I told you earlier. So what this does is this ensures that we have inventory throughout the year. In agriculture products, demand is based on your availability. If you are unable to source some products, then you are losing out on the business. So what we
Correct.
do is we have enough holding capacity in our in our warehouses. We ensure that we have crop throughout the 10 months. There are
Okay.
1 or 2 months when there is a servicing of the factory happens, or the maintenance of the factory happens, but rest of the time we are always exporting. So
Okay.
this is a major differential point when you compare us with our competitors or any industry which works on a seasonal basis or a fresh vegetable basis. That you need
Okay.
to ensure that you have regular supplies.
Okay.
Unlike industry of mango where you only do a harvest once a year and you export throughout the year with only one crop, but
Okay.
we as an advantage we ensure that we have crop from all different territories, and we are sure to our customer that they can call us anytime for a particular product. We never have
Okay.
a habit of saying no to them. So this
Okay.
helps
No,
us
understood.
win more customers and retain the existing customers.
And I think nicely mentioned by you, Junaid. Now, Junaid, tell me one thing. All our customers whom we export, are these largely B2B kind of customer segments, some, malls or maybe some food malls? Directly do we supply to them, or are there any distributor agreements with us that we sell it to the distributor and then he rebrands it or, white labels it and sells it to the final customer? In our business, how much is directly sold to the customer and how much is white labeled? If you could, please share this to us.
Yes, sir. We have three different types of packaging and three different types of preservative methods which we use. The first one is the industrial packaging. The industrial packaging is majorly a B2B product. The industrial packaging comprises of about 70 to 75% of our export turnover. It is a volume product, and that's the product which we started off with. The major advantage with the product is there is no end user liability as well. What where we supply to factories who reprocess it and rebrand it and add their own recipe, and they have a different product at the end of the day. So this is a year long product. There are no criteria for supply. There are regular contracts. There's no specific need of the hour kind of thing. And big factories abroad, they try to store this product for at least a year, so that they want their supply chain, their bottling factories to be running. So the end user of this product is a bottler, like a Pepsi or a Coke. These customers buy. It's a product of India. It's labeled as product of India, but the branding, the recipe is all done by the end customer. This is our major business share. The second is the food service market. The food service market is a similar product, but in a smaller size packaging. This product goes to different restaurants and eateries. Again, we don't directly supply to the restaurants and eateries. There are food brokers, there are traders across the world. For example, in the Middle East, where the product is taken in big containers, that is, in big volumes. The packaging is small. The redistribution is done in the local country, and it's supplied in smaller sizes. Again, the packaging is small, and it is handy for them to be used in the restaurants and food category industries. The third is the retail packaging. This is where we are doing heat treatment, that is pasteurization. The product is preserved by applying heat and extending the shelf life. The packaging is in smaller jars and cans. This is supplied to retail chains. Probably the retail chain does not directly buy from us. There are again traders, there are brokers, there are probably bigger distributors who take it from us based on the orders they source. One or two big retailers also buy from us, but our major concentration is on volume buyers.
Okay.
So yeah, these are the three different service categories which we cater.
Understood. I think Junaid nicely said by you. Now, Junaid, tell me one thing. What is the level of competitive intensity, from Indian players who cater to the export market? Is it a very intensely competitive market, or if your product quality is accepted, the sky is the limit for you? So there's no question of scratching the market. You've got a huge market to service. Is that the scenario in the current scenario? And secondly, is the government giving any incentives for you for exports of gherkins to these export market? Has the government announced any schemes which actually help you, either directly or indirectly?
So globally, the market is pretty huge. When I started the business, I thought there are only probably five big customers in the world. So as the internet boom happened, and as you have this online marketing companies and various social media coming up, we found that there are many small customers who were actually controlled by food brokers. So as we grew in the business, we started attending a lot of export fairs which happen in Germany, in Europe and USA. So this exposed us to the all the small players available in each country. So we now have our customer base in about 33 countries and close to about 100 odd customers. Uh, we are in fact not majorly present in the Americas, which is a very huge market. We are exposing ourselves to Americas now. So what I find is the requirement is pretty huge. In any agriculture product, the availability is scarce. That is where the limit is. So we every season we are always sold out. So there's never been a
Okay.
season where we have had crop and we've not had a customer. So going
Okay.
forward, I feel the American states can contribute a big revenue to my business. At the moment, they are contributing only about 8%, but I think they have a very huge market potential. And Europe also, there are small countries which consume this, which going forward, I think we can help the business grow.
Okay.
Coming to the government incentives, government has always supported a export market with a lot of incentives. Currently, there is an incentive called ROTTEP. It's a remission of duties and taxes scheme, wherein whatever duties you've paid to the fuel consumed and whatever raw materials you purchased, you can get this back as a 3% turnover subsidy based on your FOB values. Previous to this, there was something called merchandise exporter scheme, where the compensation was higher. Now it is a bit reduced. Also, we are a EOU, we are a 100% export oriented unit, wherein any imports we make. For example, we import olives from Egypt to make a particular product called banderillas. It's a combination of different vegetables. So this product is duty free for us. So this incentive has been prevalent for a long time, as we are categorized in the EOU schemes. There have been a lot of subsidies in the past. Now it is pretty restricted. The government also provides you your interest subvention in your packing credits, and there is something called industrial subsidy, which for your machineries which we procure. So these three are the major source of subsidies provided by the government.
Okay. Understood. Junaid, now tell me one thing. Our company is largely into exports. As you mentioned that we are a 100% export-oriented unit. Tell me one thing in terms of quality. Do we have to comply with certain quality certifications from the foreign markets? Specifically, when you sell a product in international market, there are some quality certifications which every company has to follow. And most importantly, what is the margin profile? Is it more profitable to export rather than selling the same product in the domestic markets? If you could please share your thoughts.
Sure. So in India, we have something called FSSAI. FSSAI is a very basic quality control agency whose limitations are they have very minimal limitations, in the sense the pesticide residue control is very minimal. The allowances are very moderate. When you go to the European Union and to the Americas, you have something called the EU MRL, the maximum residue limit for pesticides which is allowed. So this is something which stops an exporter from supplying chemically laden and pesticide laden products to Europe and USA. So we ensure that our products come under this EU MRL. We have certifying agencies where we test our crop frequently. We ensure that we use only the approved chemicals and pesticides. These are already approved by our customers who are in the Europe and the Americas. Secondly, there are quality certifications which are called IFS and BRC, very stringent conditions. They visit our factory probably every quarterly or every half yearly to a factory, and the infrastructure is checked thoroughly. If there are any degradations, upgradations, they need to be done. Otherwise, you don't really enjoy the premiumness. They grade you basically. You cannot have the best of grades if you don't have the best of infrastructure. So infrastructure is pretty very important in any agriculture based industry or food industry, because the contamination starts from the place where it is produced, right? So we are IFS and BRC certified. These two are the top grading certifications in the industry at the moment. When you supply to US, you have something called FDA. We also come under the preview of FDA, and in Europe they go by the IFS and BRC levels. For crop, there is something called global gap, wherein the certification agency visits the farmer level, the crop, the farmers, and the habit of farming, how they conduct it. Are there any exposure to higher pesticides, and what is the materials used, and everything is inspected and quality controlled. So we adhere to all these norms, and for the last 10 years, we've ensured that our product has remained on top of the table. Our customers have very good expectations from us, and we've ensured consistency in our quality. This has helped
Okay.
us sustain in the market.
Okay. No, no, I think very nicely mentioned by you, Junaid ji. Now, Junaid ji, let's come to the financials. I think, very solid growth shown by the company in FY24 compared to 23, both in terms of revenue, in terms of EBITDA, profit after tax. Now, I just wanted to understand that in FY24, was the volume of business quite significant? Because we have seen the profit moving from almost 9 crores to almost 21 crores. Plus, margins have improved significantly. So, in your assessment, first of all, what was the key reason for this improvement? And going forward for the next, say, 2 to 3 years, without mentioning a number, of course, if you could tell us, what kind of growth can we expect for the next 2 years? That is, FY25 has already started. Can we expect the same growth for FY25, 26? If you could please share some, views on this, that would be very helpful.
Sure. So our growth story was propelled during the period of COVID. Actually, when COVID happened, most of the factories in India were shut. Even our competitors were shut. They hadn't operated. We took this as an advantage and a challenge, and we operated all 365 days. This helped us garner very big customers who were never our customers before. These were customers of factories which were at least 25, 30 years older than us. Since they had not worked during the period of COVID, they didn't supply to the customers on time. As you know, the during COVID, food industry was one industry which was surviving. I mean, the need of food was always there. So our gherkins were also consumed rapidly. Only thing, the challenges were very high, the costs were very high. We took it as an opportunity. We laid a foundation basically. We thought this is the best time to bring in the customers who will give us growth in the longer term. So this helped us after COVID ended. So when you see in 22, 23, we have done about 125 crores, and 23, 24, we have touched about 194, 196 crores. The major difference is we have procured more crop, and we have exported more quantities in a short span of time. When you do volume, that is a volume business basically, right? When you do volume of business in a short span of time, your costs are very limited. So this has helped us grow our PAT limits also. So going forward, what we see is, one, we have a good access to working capital after our IPO is going to get listed. So once working capital is available, we have another second unit of ours, a production unit, which is 3 times bigger than our existing unit. It is almost ready to function. So I mean, our volumes will surely be 2 times higher in a couple of years from now, and the growth is also going to continue because end of the day we are going to procure more raw material and export more raw material. So we are always sitting on in a good order book, which helps us scale targets. The only limitation could be the working capital, which we are looking for the IPO.
Okay. Well, I think, thank you for the answer, Junaid ji. I think understood how this business works. Now, talking about the IPO, which is quite important for all of us, can you please share some, inputs that, how big is the capital raising plan? And basically, you mentioned about a new unit as well as for working capital. So, can we assume that this money is largely going to be used for both capex as well as for working capital?
So, we have, as I said, the second unit is almost 75-80% ready. The infrastructure, everything is ready. We are asking for a 8.5 crore requirement to fund our machineries. So once we have those machineries, we will be having parallel production lines. That is one in the existing unit and the new one which is coming up. This production line is going to be highly automated, and it's a high speed line basically. This can chunk out very good numbers of finished products. This will surely help us grow our top line. The IPO, we are going for a size of about roughly around 75 crores, wherein the 8.5 crores is for the capex requirement. The rest of
Okay,
it is only for the working capital. We have a
okay,
similar working capital for the unit one, where we have already achieved about close to 200 crores of a turnover. The second unit, as I told you, it's a bigger unit, and this ask for working capital will help scale the same unit to the similar levels.
okay. And hopefully, Junaid, this new machinery which you are mentioning, the new modern machinery, by when will this machinery actually be operational so that we can obviously see some revenue? Can we assume that in FY26 the impact of this new machinery will be reflected in numbers?
Yes, at least there will be a growth of 20 to 30%. The volumes are both by volumes as well as the numbers. The machinery
Okay,
should be ready by the year end. That is when our major crop season starts from Tamil Nadu.
okay,
If you have seen in the current 23-24 also, the period from December to April is our highest volume period. So we
okay.
are ready to take on that season.
Okay. So understood. Okay, now coming to the working capital side, Junaid, I want to understand how does the working capital in this industry work? And specifically for us, what is the working capital cycle? Right from the time we get the order, we stock the inventory, and then finally it goes to the customer, and the customer makes the payment. So if you could tell us broadly, on the industry side, what is the working capital normal period which is prevalent, and how are we different or how are we similar to that? If you could please share your thoughts.
The industry working capital cycle is about 90 days, sir. The major part of it is our time with the farmers, where we invest with them and bring the crop to our factory. The turnaround time for the crop in our factory is mostly 7 to 15 days, where the preservation time is completed, and immediately upon completion of the preservation, it is packed and exported. So we offer credit terms to our customers based on the different countries. For example, some customers pay us about 30% in advance. Some countries customers pay in 60 days and some in 90 days. So on an average, if you take 90 days is our working capital cycle. We ensure that the crop does not stay very long in our factory, and we try to efficiently ship it out as soon as possible to keep our working capital cycles less small, basically.
Understood. Junaid, one thing which I want to understand is that we have seen all the parameters like revenue has gone up, EBITDA margins have gone up, absolute EBITDA has gone up, but somewhere I was seeing that your operating cash flows are actually not coming back in the positive. So I want to understand that is it because you have to stock a lot of inventory, as you said, that inventory of your raw materials is very important in our business. So is this the reason why the cash flows are minus? And going forward, once obviously you get the public issue money, can we assume that coming year, that is FY25, because market always respects companies which generate positive cash flows, because obviously that is where the real money is. On this, I want to understand from you, can we assume that FY25 may, sir, can we get positive cash flows? Because this is something which is very essential. And I think as a company, I think you all are doing all the best things in your vertical. So financially, can we expect this to happen in the current year? What has happened in the past is history. But अभी पब्लिक इशू के बाद hopefully can we assume that this improvement will start happening?
So the negative cash flow showing is purely because, as you know, the last quarter is a very big quarter for us, and that's when the financial year also ends. So both
Okay,
come
okay.
overlap each other. For example, in the month
अच्छा,
of
okay,
February and March, the exports are very high from our side. We are
okay,
located in Tamil Nadu, and we have about 4,000 farmers who supply us crop from these areas. So
okay,
by end of March, we are in a rush to export out all the goods. So when you
okay,
see when you talk about financials, mostly all the money which was exported, in Jan, Feb, and March would have been realized by now. We have at 90% already realizations are there. Going
okay,
forward, sir, see, we've been profitable from the day of start of our business, and as we are establishing a new unit, and as per economies of scale, we'll be able to produce more and export more, our overheads are going to be not very high. The numbers which we are produce and export will automatically reflect in more profitability. The
Okay.
setting up the second unit would the challenge is setting up a new unit today. It is a very big unit, quite a big unit, and it required time and money to invest and start. So when it starts, I think hopefully in the 2 3 years, by internal accruals, we should be able to come back really positive, and
Okay.
mostly our whatever debt also we have, we'll be able to bring it down by at least half
Yeah.
in the next 3 4 years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, understood. Junaid, now tell me one thing. I was observing that in FY22, the sale of gherkins was almost 94%, and currently in 24, it has come down to 84%. So going forward, where do you want to position gherkins as a major product, and other products which you mentioned? Are there some new products also on the table which you are working on and which you probably want to experiment in the export market? If you could please share, what is happening on the R&D front. Please, if you could
Sure.
share.
Sir, the gherkin share actually has not come down. The gherkin quantity what we export has actually gone up. Only thing is we have also increased supplies of other products from India. Majorly, we are, as I told you, we are growing and exporting jalapenos. We're also growing and exporting baby corns. The market is not as big as gherkins, but they also have a wholesome contribution. Gherkins
Okay.
keeps us very active and busy throughout the year. Other products we see them as subsidiaries, and we are slowly trying to develop them because they all need more working capital and more storage space. Food products need
Exactly.
to be stored in covered areas. So we currently have a 1 lakh square feet of closed warehouse in the first factory, and we are also going to have another 1 lakh square feet of closed space in our new factory. So the products like babycon have to be stored and exported. Going forward, all the idea is to grow all the products. It is not only to focus on gherkins. We don't want to lose also focus on gherkin, but the customer profile is same. Whoever buys gherkins also buys babycon. Probably
Okay.
9 containers of gherkins and 1 container of babycon. That is the ratio of the export market, the consumption which
Okay.
is done.
Okay. So fine. Last question now, Junaid ji, is that as you mentioned rightly, you have seen COVID, and COVID has actually made us more stronger. But tell me one thing, in our business, what is the most important risk in our business? Is it the availability of the crop at the right time, the right price? Is it execution? So what is it that decides the profitability of our business? Specifically, since you cater to a very quality clientele in the export market. So हमारा सबसे बड़ा risk business में क्या है? And how have you managed this risk so well?
Sir, in the last 6 years, what I've seen is I've seen very stable climate in Tamil Nadu, where we actually source more than 60 70% of our product. The risk is climate, majorly climate. But how we've mitigated the risk is by geographically spreading ourselves out. By not depending only on our state, we are also depending on a neighboring two states. So if there is a very bad, very heavy rainfall in Karnataka, there is Andhra which comes as a backup with a very very stable climate. Tamil Nadu, I've never seen rains affecting the crop. I've seen heat
Okay.
5 6 years back. The heat
Yeah.
makes the crop a little difficult, but there is one major advantage where our crop is actually grown in the hilly areas.
अच्छा.
we
Okay.
we grow it in a moderate climate. We don't grow it in the hot summers, and we don't grow it in the monsoons. So after every
Okay.
monsoon is our crop, and the growth
Okay.
of our crop is in hills basically, where there is no water retention. In the sense, there is no
Ah,
water stagnation. Retention is good,
exactly.
stagnation is
Yeah.
not there. So climatic conditions
Okay.
as such are a challenge, but I've seen that we've mitigated it and worked our way around. As humans, we've always have our the easiest way out or the most difficult way out. So that is in any agriculture product, climate is the major challenger. But I think I have drafted a way out where by working with different states. That is one thing. Second is, after COVID, we've faced challenges in shipping, and currently we have the wars, the Russian war, the Red Sea crisis. So all
Yeah.
these have caused immense fluctuation in the ocean freight. So during
Exactly.
COVID, what we learned that to work with the shipping MNCs, the liners directly. So what
Okay.
happens there is we are not given a shock overnight. We know what
Yeah.
is coming. They at least
Exactly.
keep us initiate intimated.
Yeah.
When we used to work with the agents and forwarders, we were always in the blind. When the market
Yeah.
is charging less, also the forwarders would charge you more. So when we work
Exactly.
with the line, we know when they increase the price, there's also a decrease in price, and we are the first to know. So probably
Exactly.
there are 15 days or a month of tough shipment, but thereon we also have a benefit when the rates
Yeah.
are also down. And working
Okay.
with the liners also gives us better margins. The freight is at
Okay.
least 15-20% cheaper than what a forwarder can provide you.
Okay. Okay.
But the only thing is the working capital requirement is higher on this side because the liners do not give you credit. The ship
Okay.
the ship reaches in probably 60 days, but you need to pay the liner in the seventh or the eighth day of sailing
Okay.
before
Okay.
after the sailing basically. So
Okay.
that's where we ensure that we work with the top four or five liners, shipping liners now. Previously there used to be 10. Now there are only top five guys. So we ensure that we make very timely payments and we try to work on contracts with them. So there are no
Okay.
jumps or bumps. Yes, there are challenges where a war can change entire scenario. But okay, we are pretty well informed. We ensure that our customers are also pretty well informed. The customer trusts us because he has seen us from the days of COVID. We in fact tell them that a problem is approaching and we tell them to
Yeah.
stock ahead. We
Okay.
we do not give them a last minute tip where they all are shocked and surprised. So
Yeah.
we ensure that a customer also has enough inventory that he does not have to worry about a crisis which has suddenly jumped up the prices.
Okay.
So this way we maintain enough communication. It's just not order based, but it is
Hmm.
also development based because we know when a
Okay.
customer survives is when we also survive.
Exactly.
So this friendship has grown in the last 10 years and has become intense friendship from the period of COVID. So
Okay.
this is how these are two major risks at the moment. Rest of all is how hard you work and how efficiently you run your factory, how your costs are under control, how you stop wastages. Wastages India wastes about I think 10 to 15% of whatever food which is grown, because by the time it comes from the farmer to our table, it has
Yeah.
to go through multiple levels of
Exactly.
storage, transit. So
Yeah.
we ensure that our fields are not very far, about less than 50 to 100 kilometers. We
Yeah.
ensure the transportation, the logistics part is efficiently taken care of. We ensure that the crop comes to us in time. We ensure that we preserve the crop within the 24 hours. So that's when
Okay.
the evaporation loss happens, the moisture loss happens, the wastage can happen. So all these we have very strict controls at every levels. So this helps
Okay.
us to stop. I mean, have a critical stop loss at the place at the source itself. So these are the
I
three
think.
major challenges, and we have arrested them since inception. And we're trying to improvise and go closer to the farmer. And we are only about 200 kilometers or 150 kilometers for the second unit from the port, which also
Okay.
reduces our transportation costs.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we are very trying to be very efficient. Instead of having very high cost model, we have very
Okay.
efficient cost model, which helps us be profitable every season and every year.
And I think nicely mentioned by you, Junaid. I think it was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much. My best wishes to you, your entire management team, and sir, best wishes for your forthcoming public issue also. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, thank you, thank you.